Good morning, everyone. It's indeed, as always, a pleasure to welcome you to another episode of Untomato. Just something I need to note, I've just been advised by StreamYard, they're having some challenges with Facebook. So our program today is not on, for whatever reason, it's not going to be streaming on Facebook until they correct whatever problems they have, but it's going to be streaming on YouTube, Ndomoto YouTube with Ndomoto with Dr. O on YouTube. So if that's where you're going to be watching today, that's where it's going to be streaming. But again, for whatever reason, they're having challenges with Facebook today. But anyhow, once we finish, if they don't have their issue corrected, then I'm just going to take the information and post it on Facebook so that those of you who want to see it will get an opportunity to see it. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to this episode of Ntomato. And I'd like to add someone special to the stream. Hello, Brooke. Brooke is today. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, you're a little under the weather, I understand, and I know. You know, I was under the weather myself a week or two ago.
Yeah, you
know,
were.
I landed in the hospital. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But you know what? Here's what I can say, and that is that I am 100. Well, instead of saying 100%, let me say I'm 200% as opposed to 100%. So I'm doing very well, and I am just so grateful. You know how God works. You know, when it's time for you to get well, you get well. If it's not time to get well, you'll still be in the hospital. So I suppose it's my time to get up and continue to do what it is I'm doing. So here we are. Thank you for joining me, and we'll continue to talk a little later on in the game. In the program, all right. So you take care, and you're doing all right. The cats, the dogs, everybody's getting milk.
Oh yeah, everybody's great.
Everybody's great. Okay, God. Okay, I'll be speaking with you in a few minutes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us today. You know, you are going to enjoy this program, and I know I am. But before I go into that, I just wish to thank everyone who wished me well when I was not feeling very well. I want to thank you, all of you who sent all your well wishes. Trust me, it worked. It worked. So because here I am. And I'm happy to know that I have a community of individuals who truly care. And you did show me that you care. So thank you. Thank you. My very heartfelt appreciation for all your well wishes. I want to just take a moment and remember everyone in the world, in Nigeria in particular this year, that are going through some challenging times. There's a fear of war in West Africa, Niger Republic, and of course, Niger Republic borders Nigeria. So whatever happens in Niger ultimately will impact Nigeria. That is the ECOWAS and France and the United States and all the individuals concerned are waging a war against the coup that happened there, military coup. Hopefully, it will not come to war because war is not necessary. War is never the answer, though some people think that it is. You can be powerful by being kind. Your power does not have to lie in how much nuclear warheads you have and how many people you can destroy in a minute. I just hope that reason will take place so that people's lives are not jeopardized by possibility of war and war itself. But I want my brothers and sisters and friends and families who are in Nigeria to know that they are in our thoughts today, and we continue to pray that God will take care of everything. At least we'll interject so that good will overcome evil. That's how it's supposed to work anyway. I hope all is well with all of you wherever you are. That's all I can hope for anyone, is that you are well. Life is so precious, and we need to know how to treat life, because many of us do take it for granted. And that is why today's discussion is quite important. We're going to talk about one of the universal laws, the law of compensation, which reminds us how we are compensated for what we do. We are compensated in proportion to the level of effort that we put into anything and the value that we provide for other people. So what you do sometimes comes back. Many of you have heard what goes around comes around, karma and what have you. There are many terminologies for the same thing, the law of compensation. So we're just going to go into a discussion about that. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware that there are 12 universal laws that are a set of spiritual principles that govern our universe and everything in it. And we're just part of the universe. And that's what we need to know. We are part of a whole. We are not the most important things in this world. There are other things and beings, some of them we don't even know, that are just as important. But the universal laws pertain to the nature of consciousness, our consciousness, energy, the energy that we put out, and then the reality created by our consciousness and our energy. Okay, those create our reality. Consciousness, of course, is everything that you experience. Everything you experience, that's part of your consciousness. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's part of your consciousness. If you're listening to a tune and it gets stuck in your mind, that's part of your consciousness. Or you eat something that's delightful to your palate, that's part of your consciousness. Or it's something is hurting you, throbbing you, whatever those things are, that's part of your consciousness. If you feel the sensation of a loved one once they come around, that's part of your consciousness. So the universal laws are a set of principles that govern our universe. And we need to be aware that all those things sort of impact how we deal with our reality and what reality becomes to us, what comes to us, what we dish out comes to us. What we understand and act accordingly will revert to us, the reality that our consciousness, our energy have given off. One of the things I'm going to start doing for the next few shows, I'm going to focus on universal laws, because they're really, really very important. And I want us to see how they impact our understanding and relationship with our world. I'm going to take the time and devote several of these shows to it. I think it will be very important. I think many people appreciate it. It's important that people understand why certain things happen to them. You remember, I don't know how many of you have had moments that you say, why me? Why did this happen to me? There's always a cause for something to happen. What are those things? Instead of you getting angry and lose your mind over something happening to you, it's important to know how, why did it happen? Universal law, there's something that happened that created, maybe some energy you put out there created this to boomerang to you. Karma visited you. And also why certain things dominate in our lives and how these laws apply to those actions we take over those things that dominate in our lives, or maybe those things or actions that we take that cause those things to dominate in our lives. I do a spiritual therapy that I call Nkazi. Nkazi, it's a healing spiritual program therapy that it looks at the totality of what's going on in your life, your spiritual health, and how it affects many aspects of living. So Nkazi takes into consideration the universal laws. And when we understand why certain things are happening to us and how they are connected to the universal laws, we know how to better deal with them. You lose control only because you don't understand something. People who understand things do not lose control. They take their time, they listen, they figure it out. When people don't understand what's happening, then what we do is we adopt misplaced understanding. We have misunderstanding of matters, but we call them weird things like witchcraft and evil and those kinds of things. You don't, because you don't understand, and you don't understand how your reaction to something actually may cause what it is you fear. I had an opportunity to talk to a lady the other day, and there's a restaurant on, I don't quite know the name of that street, but it's in Atlanta, and it's got this big giant skull as the entrance. And she's so frightened she couldn't go in there. She wanted to know, have I ever been there? And I said, yeah, I've been there. She says, oh, that's evil. I said, well, why do you think it's evil? Well, it's got that big skull out there. I say, see, the energy she's giving out is fear. So that's what's coming to her. So things that she doesn't understand scare her. I say, why are you afraid of a skull? Well, that's evil. The people who put that there, they put it there because they're evil people. I say, I don't quite understand your logic here. They're evil people. They put a skull on the door, and people are coming there and eating. Does it mean all those people who are coming there are evil, or maybe they all love evil? Okay, she says, well, there must be evil people, and that's why. So I asked her, do you have a skull in your head? When you leave this earth, when you become a skeleton, would you have skull? Would you not have skull? Do you not have a skull right now? Are you afraid of your skull? She says, well, that's different. I said, how is it different? If you're afraid of a skull that's mounted on the door as an artistic rendition of whatever it is you were trying to achieve, if you're afraid of that, then you should be afraid of yourself, because you have a skull that you walk around with every single day. Yeah, you're scared of it. So then she started telling me about what happened to her in the past, and then the evil and the people that has done evil to her. They believe in skulls and all that stuff. So as you can see, that is her consciousness. She associates evil with the skull based on what she experienced in the past. So that's boomeranging now into fear of skulls. Okay, so that's why it's so important to talk about why certain things happen to us. As humans, we try to understand our world, and whatever serves us best is necessary. As necessary is what we use. For her, running away from the images of skull is how she deals with evil. Okay, so she doesn't want anything to do with skulls and all of that. So I did ask her, when you were a child, did you participate in Halloween, all of those things? I said, I personally didn't know anything about Halloween until I came to America, So, but did you participate? She says, yes, she participated in Halloween. She had so much fun as a child, participating in that. I said, well, at that moment, were you scared of skulls and skeletons and things like that? She says, no, it was fun and everything. So I said, now, why is it frightening to you right now? Well, a friend of hers told her that Halloween is for the devil, is for witches, is for evil, is this, that, and the other. I said, well, when you were a child, it was not evil, but now it's evil. So that has become part of your consciousness. What they have said, what your friend has said, has been embedded in your consciousness. So now when you see something that you used to enjoy before, all of a sudden you have fear of it. It's like a white child and a black child. They play while they are children. They have no concept about the difference. All they know is that they are children. Then as they get older, some maybe some family members or friends start to distinguish between who's black, who's white, and then I start associating either good or bad to that. And then the person who originally had no inklings about playing with the child who played with every other race, all of a sudden is reluctant. Okay, so her consciousness has been changed. Okay, she has now absorbed something else that has now become part of her consciousness, and then that's how she's reacting. So when she sees something that didn't do anything wrong to her before, now she starts to apply those negative things that have been said about that object or somebody, and that becomes their reality, and then they start acting accordingly. Okay, so anyway, those are some of the things that happen when we draw the wrong conclusions. We engage in suppositions, assumptions, innuendos, etc. So anyway, let me talk about the specifics of the law of compensation. You are compensated based on what you do, the proportion and the amount of effort you put in anything, the value you put in something or somebody, that comes back to you. That comes back to you. Let me give you an example. All of us have a personal signal. It's like a radio. Okay, so it's like the signal of a radio, which attracts a certain frequency. I read this somewhere. I'm trying to remember where I read that, which is very, very true. And just like a radio signal, the energy and effort you put out into the world creates a vibration that attracts similar energy and experiences, which attracts frequencies, and then you start experiencing what those frequencies are. Let me repeat that. You are like a radio signal. What you put out there, the frequency you put out there, is what's going to come back to you. Take, for instance, if you radiate optimism, if you're a very optimistic person and everybody sees you as very optimistic, believe it or not, optimism will follow you, because this is what your vibrations, your personal radio vibration puts out there. That's what's going to come back to you. You cannot be a happy person and find yourself surrounded by negative energy. It doesn't work that way. Now, there may be some individuals that may be negative in your path, but majority of the people are responding to the energy that you put out there, and that's what is going to become your reality. So your compensation is based on what you are attracting. The effort you put out there brings experiences to you. Now, the other thing is, on the other hand, if you emit negativity, okay, and a fearful and hateful vibration, you're going to attract that. That's what's going to come to you. If you're a very fearful person, believe it or not, it's because you exude fear. That's why children get bullied. Okay, their vibration is that of fear. They're afraid of the big bad bully, right? And you're so afraid of this bully, that energy does travel, because then what it attracts is a bully. A person sees your fearfulness, and that person will take advantage of you. All right. So what you put out is what's going to come to you. If you're negative, you're going to draw negativity to yourself. That's why, I tell people, it's one thing to gossip about something in a positive way, but don't gossip about negative things. The person you're gossiping with, believe it or not, okay, that's you. Your vibration is negative. And what that person is going to do in turn is not share positive things with you. They will share negative things. And if they're sharing negative things about somebody else or other people, believe it or not, they are going to share the same thing about you. So it comes around. It's like boomerang karma. When you're there doing negative things or engaged in negative activities, then you wonder, why is this happening to me? Then you get upset. Why are they talking about me? They're talking about you, because that's what you're giving off. That's all that you're giving up. If you're engaged in negative activity, and let me add here that they have not corrected the issue with Facebook. So unfortunately, our viewers on Facebook are not able to see what's going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep talking, and then I'll just share it on Facebook with everybody else. So like I said, if you want to attract anything positive, then put out a positive signal. Put out positive signals. Say, Even, even give people a chance who are not even very nice. If you just assume that that person will someday will just act right, when you choose not to assume the worst about anyone and see another part of them that is positive, when you see that individual has the ability to act divinely, even when that is not the way they're acting, that is not what you're observing. What we do then is we trigger what we call the law of divine compensation. In other words, that you excusing their weakness may well cause others to excuse your weakness and not focus on your weakness. So it's so important to understand that anything we do creates a level of compensation for us. Don't be uh don't be so quick to draw some conclusions about people. I mean, there are some people that really tell you who they are on the spot, and I get it, I get it. But on the other hand, giving people a chance as well, depending on what the issues are, gives them an issue to, give them cause and pause on your part, and make sure that they're not drawing conclusions about you just based on certain uncomfortable things you've done or comfortable things you've said. Okay. Part of drawing uh, positive compensation our way is also to change our perspective, our attitude. Our attitude. There are certain places where you go that is imperative that you act like you're not angry. You act like you understand that the person has your fate in their hands. Because if you're rude, if you're crude to certain people, that's how they're going to act towards you. And then you're going to come out of there and say, well, why did she act that way? Well, because that's the way you acted. That's the energy. That's the frequency you put out there. And that's what was drawn to you. Okay. So how here's some of the ways that you can put the law of compensation to work for you. There's so many other things, I'm just going to share about 5 of them today. All right. You can add, once you hear some of what I'm saying, that you may find, okay, there are some other things that you yourself already are aware that is helpful, that will compensate you positively if you did them. Okay. Now, one of the law of compensation, or at least what can help draw the law of compensation your way, is to look for opportunities to serve others if you can, and add value to their lives or their businesses. If you're a taker, if all you're about is taking from people or expecting people to give you, but you're not willing to invest anything for other people, then what you do in effect is you cause them not to have any desire to help you. Don't demand but not be willing to do. If all you want is handouts, if all you want is for people to give you, but you're not prepared or willing to give back, then you're not going to get the law of compensation will not apply to you, will not come your way. So if you want others to do for you, one of the things you want to do is be willing to serve in whatever capacity you can to help others. Because then that's where people, I have individuals that I know that I consider myself a bleeding heart, if I may use that expression. I consider myself that because I like to do. I can work long hours for somebody else and wear myself down, if I may say that, and that's the truth, trying to help people. Okay. But those who reciprocate get more and more of my time, more of my willingness to do, because I see that they're willing to help as well. So that's that me giving out that frequency. And if they return that to me, then I'm more likely to do more and more for them. But if all that you're getting, you're putting out this positive vibration, and all that's coming to you are individuals that want from you, but are not willing to give to you, then you have to reassess what you're doing with those individuals, because it may not be good for you. to be associated with people who are so eager to take from you, but not willing to give anything back rather. The other thing is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and focus on abundance rather than lack. Instead of you focusing, I don't have this, oh, it will never work, I don't like this, oh, these people are this, then that's a consciousness of lack, living in lack, living in the valley, always seeing the negativity in everything. Okay, cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Just, the greatest gratitude is to say thank you to the Creator for just being here. Every action of inhaling and exhaling means that you have the wealth that many, even billionaires, some billionaires would die for. Some people would do anything just to be alive, breathing as you are. As I'm getting older, I find that some parts ache and this ache and that ache, but you know what? I'm still grateful for being here. In spite of some of my little changes, many of us elders, we go through changes. But the point of the matter is just be grateful for what is working right. Don't beat yourself down. Don't stay focused in the valley of pain and anger and all of that. That's the vibration you give out, and believe it or not, that's what's going to come to you. However, if you're just grateful, even if you just show people how grateful that you are to be here today. Just take a nice walk. You may not have $1 million in the bank, but do you have $10? Do you have 20? Do you have 100? Do you have 200? Whatever you have, be grateful for it. Because guess what? The vibration of gratitude that you put out there, that will come back to you in ways that you can't even imagine. Good things happen to those who put out good vibrations. For those of us who choose to bellyache and whine about things, everything that's wrong, and barely say thank you for those things that are going right. Sometimes for me, when something is that maybe, do something, just change what you eat, change, your activities, change something to correct whatever you're experiencing, instead of seeing them cussing and fussing and, oh my God, my legs, my knees, and when you pick up the phone, that's all you want to tell people about is how your knee hurts, your ear hurts and all that stuff. Whereas it's okay to share some challenges, but it's important that you yourself are grateful for the good in your life, for the good, the joy of just inhaling and exhaling and just saying thank you for this wonderful opportunity called today. The law of compensation comes back and says, okay, we get it. Here's some more. Here's some more reason to be grateful, to be happy. So don't live in lack. Change your attitude from a lack to gratitude. Have an attitude of abundance. Say to yourself, I've got enough. I have enough. So that enough more will come to you. Because you know what? Sometimes when more is coming to you, you're not even cognizant of it because you're so focused on what you don't have. So that even something, little things that may happen to you, you don't even acknowledge them. You're not grateful for them because you're so sure that what you don't have is more than what you're getting. So you just focus on all those things. I want to have a big car. I want to have a Mercedes, right? So you don't take care of your little Kia. Your little Kia Soul, you don't take care of that. You don't give it a bath. You don't clean it up. You throw trash in it. As long as you're not proud of what you do have, the law of compensation says that if you keep that attitude, that's all you're going to have. That's all you're going to have. So be grateful for that little car you have. Even if it has a ding or two in it, be grateful for it. And then who knows? With a positive attitude, you may direct yourself and your actions towards getting that new Mercedes or whatever the heck else you want beyond what you already have. So that is one way, one very important way, is to look for opportunities, number one, to serve others and cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. Somebody will say, stop being so ungrateful. I watch videos of children being given something by their parents during Christmas or some holiday, and they get a gift or two, and they're very upset about it because it's not what they wanted. They throw it on the ground. This is not what I wanted. Well, I don't think that motivates the parents to get you anything. And for anything, you may not get anything else because you are not grateful. You have a negative attitude. You're living in lack as opposed to in abundance. So whatever you get, whatever you have, just give thanks. Somebody like me, I don't get jealous that somebody has anything more than me. Instead, I just praise God for them, because my time shall come. May not be today, maybe not, maybe tomorrow. You see. So I'm sorry, I just got a message that caused me to pause. So that's very, very important. I just wish everybody well. I may see something and somebody has and say, oh gosh, I wish I could have that, but not to the point of hating the person, because that's not the vibration you want to put out there. If you put out the negative vibration, that comes back to you. The other thing is, you see, many of us somehow think we're going to find happiness when you're surrounded by people who are negative, people who are not positive, people who don't believe in your aspirations, people who don't share your values. You think that those people who don't have those aspirations, who are not like you, they don't have to totally be like you, but at least have individuals who have something in common with you. Because when you don't, there's a baggage. People can be a baggage in your life. You can have them all following you and dragging you down. They say misery loves company. I say that all the time. Misery loves company, but you have to make up your mind and say, misery does not need my company. Not today. I want positive vibrations, and positive vibrations do not come from negative people. So they don't. You may try to convince yourself they will change. They never change. They're just not for you. And it's okay that you move on. That's what the law of compensation says. You get back what energy frequencies that you put out. And if these people have their energies and frequencies are negative, that's what you're going to absorb. And that's what you yourself is going to put out there. And more of such nonsense comes to you. Be around positive people. Now, when I say positive people, I don't mean that positive people don't have complaints. I don't mean that positive people don't have issues. That's not the point. Positive people may have issues as well, but they don't make their issues your reality. They don't force their issues on you. They don't make it so that that's all you know. Or, somebody stole from me, or somebody, those things happen. Or just the constant barrage about what other people did and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you can be the reason why negative people become positive. Just don't buy into the negativity. Switch the negativity into positivity. You can rub off on them that way. And if they choose not to change, then they're not for you. Then you need to reassess who you have around you. So if they don't have your values, or when I say don't have your values, a person who's racist, for instance, and you're not racist, and let me rephrase that, because there's really nothing like we use it all the time, but there really isn't any racist, because there's only one race, and that's the human race. They're just different cultures and ethnicities, you see. So anybody when you say somebody's racist, then that means that person hates humanity, themselves included, because there's only one race, the human race. However, people can be ethnocentric. People can prefer people in their own ethnic groups to other people. Okay? People do that. So it's important that you don't surround yourself with people who are ethnocentric, who are just, they don't, it's okay for you to be proud of who you are. It's proud to be proud of your ethnicity or your culture, but then don't make it so that it's only yours matters and you share that with others. It's me, my way, who I am, or or nobody else. So be careful the kinds of people, the kind of people who just brag about how rich they are. And then they ask you, why you know so rich. There are many reasons why you're not as rich as they are. But you don't need to be reminded of that every doggone day. Sometimes we surround ourselves with people who we think we want to be like because they have perhaps a little bit more than we have. But then they have a way of letting us know that we're not really up to who they are by reminding us that we're not as wealthy as they are. Those people are not the kind of people you want to be around. They may have a lot, and sometimes we like to rub, shoulders with those who we think have made it. But you can make it too. You can definitely make it too. You don't have to stick with people who put you down because they're perhaps financially better off than you are. So that's very important as a comment I wanted to make there. And the other thing is, have a growth mindset. A growth mindset. In spite of some of the things that you would experience in life, have a growth mindset. In other words, have the mindset that says this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I shall overcome this. This is not permanent in my life. This too shall pass. Okay, so it's important to look at your life, not always from the perspective of where you are right now, but the fact that things may change based on the activities you engage in. Based on what you do, you may be able to change where you are right now. So you have to stay positive. Yes, it's difficult. Sometimes when you're not well, it's difficult to stay positive. But, have your down moments, but don't maintain it. Don't maintain more of your down moments than your growth moments. Growth mindset. Have a growth mindset. I was doing one of my Nkazi programs, therapy. I was telling my client, one of the things that people don't understand is that it's not the big thing that matters. It's those little steps you take to get you to the big things. And that's having a growth mindset. All right. And once you achieve any little thing that you achieve, any little thing that you set as part of the steps to get to where you want to be, celebrate that, no matter how small. No matter how small. If you have drawn a map where you want to go, and along the way you're achieving all those little milestones, celebrate each milestone. Grab a glass of water, a glass of wine, take yourself out to a movie, but celebrate in some way, celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. That's having a growth mindset. And then what you do is once you get there, you celebrate, you say victory. You're celebrating your victory. I achieved this part of my milestone. I'm celebrating it. Victory celebration. Look, some of the things you do in life determines how much you enjoy life. Some of the things that you do to celebrate those little things that happen to you or that you have orchestrated through your efforts. They are victory celebrations. Victory. Where are you going today? Oh, today is my victory celebration because I have achieved this milestone. Make it a big deal. It doesn't matter how people feel about it or if they appreciate it or understand it. They don't have to understand it because it's not about them. It's about you. It's not about them. Celebrate your victory. So you wanted this big job, right? You wanted this big job and you made an effort to go. You made an effort to go. You were scared. You may not get this job. I don't know if I should go. But you made the effort. You put your clothes on. You got in this car and you went to the job application. You went there. You did your interview. That's a milestone. Forget the fact that whether you're hired or not. The milestone is that you you got there and you were interviewed. That's a milestone. Have your victory celebration. Celebrate the interview. Now, If you get the job, that's another victory to celebrate. But just getting to that interview, that is a victory. Pardon me. Suppose you're trying to lose weight, and the doctor says you have to lose 100 pounds for somebody your height. You're 100 pounds too overweight. You're obese. Now, don't allow that 100, the number 100, to stick to your mind. What should stick to your mind is every little pound you've lost. And if you gain it back for whatever reason, don't self-despair. Don't destruct. Start this next day from where you left off. Some people, when they don't achieve, if he says within a month you're supposed to lose 20 pounds and you don't get to 20 pounds, oh my God, I'll never do it. I'll never lose this weight. So what do? You go back to eating. You gain back what little you have weight you have lost. But let me tell you something that happens to you psychologically. When you celebrate and actually put emphasis on what little you have achieved, believe me, believe it or not, you're not going to be too eager to go back. You've already been there, done that. You lost 5 pounds. You don't want to gain that 5 pounds. You don't want to gain it again. You remember the joy that you had when you got it. That's a growth mindset. You remember the joy when you do your victory celebration. You remember that. You don't want to go back to that because you're prepared to go to the next one. I've done my 5 pounds. Okay, I want to lose another 5 pounds. Forget the 100. The 100 is there. It's a given. We know. But now you're narrowing down your milestones. They're not as big as going straight for 100, but you're taking little bits at a time. And each time that you win, have a victory celebration. Have a victory celebration for achieving even the littlest thing. What law of compensation, what energy, what frequency that you put out there, that's what comes back to you. Celebrate the little victories. Don't focus on the big aspirations. Know the big aspirations, but focus on the steps to achieve little victories at a time. So for those of you who don't know how to do this, I'm recommending that you start today. Start today having little victory celebrations. Because once you start celebrating some of your wins, as small as they may be, you're not willing to go back because you even psychologically you feel bad going back to celebrate something that you've already celebrated. You feel that I've not achieved. So do the victory celebrations so that you're not tempted to go back. Does it work for everybody? I don't know. It works for me. I don't know that it works for everybody, but it works for a lot of people. It works for a lot of people because testing your endurance is part of what it means to celebrate your victories. You've endured certain things to get to this part. Boy, I tell you, go and celebrate it. Be all about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Go see a movie. You know that movie you'll be talking about that I want to go and see. Make time for it. Use that day, that opportunity as a day to celebrate your victory. Light a candle if you must. Make yourself a beautiful bowl of whatever it is you like to eat. Celebrate. Celebrate little steps. That's a growth mindset. I'm looking forward to moving beyond where I am. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. It allows you to stay positive. It allows you not to worry about what you don't have. It allows you not to worry about the big picture. It allows you to focus on the small picture, the little victories. But if you're not doing it, I'm charging you today to do it. Celebrate. Have a victory celebration each time. Okay. And hey, you know, also, you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water. Many of us don't like to drink water. Many of us just don't like it. All right. I even celebrate when I drink a glass of water. I say victory. Yes, I did it. I drank this glass of water because I really hate water. I'm sorry, I do. It is the most difficult thing for me to do is to drink 8 glasses of water every day. And even to this day, it has not become a habit. I still struggle with it because I just don't like water. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't like water. It's just my thing. So what I do is I put lemon in it. I have to put a little something that doesn't give it that bland water taste. So you put lemon in it, and I put lemon in it, and then I drink it. And once I finish that glass, I make a big deal of it. Victory. Get a second glass, do the same thing. Victory. Even just something as simple as drinking water is cause for celebration for me. And whatever it is that causes you to say that you want to celebrate, just remember, if you haven't started it, if you didn't know anything about it, I'm telling you to know it today. Start victory parties for yourself. Don't engage anybody else. It's your journey. This is something you're trying to do for yourself. It's not their business, and you shouldn't involve people in your business. The other thing is to take calculated risks. Take risks. Some of us are so stuck in our comfort zones that we don't want to move. We don't want to do other things. Remember what I said earlier. What energy you put forward, what you do determines your law of compensation, what comes back to you. So being stuck in one thing, being stuck doing one thing doesn't always bring you any new experiences. So sometimes you've got to go beyond your comfort zone, go out of your boundary. You know, some people say, well, this is what my mom and dad taught me, and because of it, I can't venture out. Yes, you can. When you were little, your mom and dad determined how you think, when you eat, what you do, your activities, what school you go to. You have no control over that. It is no disrespect for parents when you become an adult and you choose to do something different. No disrespect for your parents. As a matter of fact, it's indicative of how well the parents have trained you if they have opened your mind to be open to new experiences. But you can't blame your parents for being stuck, doing the same thing over and over and over and say, that's how my parents taught me. No, your parents did not teach you to be stuck. Your parents did what any parent would do, and that's to protect you and direct you. And hopefully, when you become an adult, you gain enough insight about the world that you start looking for other things to do. Get out of your comfort zone. If you're a Black person and you don't have a white friend, it's time to make a white friend. If you're a white friend and you don't, a white woman and you don't have a Black friend, meet a Black person. If you're Asian and you've never been out with a white person, give it a try. Know a white person, know a Black person, know an Asian, etc. That's part of getting out of our comfort zones, because many of us are just raised to be what race we are, to know the people in our race. But I said earlier that the only race that exists is the human race. We're all part of the one race. It's just what is it, politics or situations and where we find ourselves, where we live, different places that we live in. You know, that starts to define who we are, and we start thinking that is our race. You know, whereas that's just our culture, our ethnicity. This is where we find ourselves. But the race is a human race. So discover other humans. Discover other human beings. Because we're all human beings. And when you open your boundaries, when you get to know other people, and you don't confine yourself because of your race or your wealth or wherever it is, or your condition, if that doesn't define you, if you don't allow that to define you, you will find that you will be a better, happier human being just knowing other people. 1 second. I had to take a quick break there because my battery was battery was running low. Yes, be willing to step outside your comfort zone. Too many of us are not willing. Too many of us are stuck. I'm going to ask my friend Brooke what she thinks about what we were talking about today. Hi, Brooke.
Hello.
Hi. What are your thoughts? I think that the law of compensation is quite interesting, isn't it?
It is. It sure is. I was listening to what you were saying about stepping out of your comfort zone too.
Yes, yes. I think this is where we really mess up personally when we restrict ourselves. Oh my God, there is such a beautiful world out there to discover, but
Yeah.
we confine ourselves into just one particular place or one particular group, and the world just goes by and leaves us behind. That's why that part of it, I really appreciate that part of it. you know uh Leaving your comfort zone. You discover new things, you discover new people, you discover new ideas, you discover that the world is a big beautiful place.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
beautiful, so beautiful that to me, I think it's such a crime to die without having experienced something different. I think it's such a crime to live this earth and you haven't experienced all the people, you haven't experienced anyone, you haven't experienced all the places. So try it. Oh, I'm going to charge you, bro. You have to start your victory parties. Start your victory parties. I'm telling you, it is the most exhilarating thing, to achieve something, and you drink to it. Well, not alcohol,
Water.
but you just celebrated. By God, I did something new today. You know, when you do that, it's amazing what happens. It's amazing how you feel.
I
So,
love that. Yes.
yeah, I believe it or not, that is my big water. I can't stand water. I can't.
Mhm.
I have victory parties every day that I get 8 glasses of water down my system because ordinarily I can't do it. But wait, I'm going to take a quick break and just share. Uh, this is this really speaks to why we need to reach out to other people, and when I say to evaluate your boundaries, find new people, find new things. When you do that, you the vibration of love is what you are sending out. When you start liking other people, not just your people, but other people, other cultures, you create a love vibration.
Oh,
So I'm just
absolutely.
gonna pick this little thing that I created. Uh, let's see. It says stop hate, because part of the law of compensation is when we have hate in the world, right? That comes back to us. When all your vibration is about hating people because they are different, that's what comes back to you. Then you wonder why do they hate me? So we need to stop hate. We need to stop discrimination. So I'm just gonna this is a little something that my spirituality put together. To me, that's one of the greatest vibrations that we can have, the vibration of tolerance, love, and that brings you back so much joy. brings you so much joy. And it makes it so that your heart is not heavy. Your mind is not heavy thinking about negative thoughts, but just thinking about positive thoughts. That's one of the things I love about understanding the law of vibrations, because we are the cause and the reason for some of the things that we experience. Would you
Oh,
agree?
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that when you hate, it closes you down for love.
That's
It
true.
closes love. Yeah.
That's right. When you have your hands closed, blessings can't penetrate. You have to be open to receive. So the universe is only reacts to those who are prepared for goodness to come to them. If you're close-fisted and your mind is closed, everything, once you close yourself out, then the universe is just not open for you. It's not ready to do anything for you. All right. Well, this has been an interesting conversation. And again, I do apologize to my viewers because something happened with Facebook, and they're still texting me to say they're having problems with Facebook. So it's not my fault. It's not our fault. It's
It's
just something
not.
happened. But this streamed on YouTube.
Instagram
Yeah,
and
yeah,
YouTube.
and YouTube, so that we're just going to take it and post it on Facebook. Now, one more thing. Next week, what I want to talk about is the law of attraction.
Oh,
As-
I love that one. And I'll
Yes,
join you. I'll
yes,
join you with that one. Yes.
yes. Because I want us to talk about the fact that it is the only thing that we can attract to us is what we focus on. That's the vibration, whether it's positive or negative. What we focus on and vibrate with, that's what's going to come back to us. So we're going to talk about that next week. And I just want to say, for those of you who joined us today, I would like to ask you to continue to support our
Um,
program, the Ndumodu Show with Dr. O on Facebook, and also the Ndumodu Show Dr. O on YouTube. You can also follow my website, Dr. O Simmery, and find out about Nkazi. Nkazi to me it's a wonderful therapy sessions that I give to people, and my clients are just loving it. You go there and you can also read some of the comments that people have made about their association with me. And also, you can go to, let me see, you can go to our website. I'm the president of the African Women Mobilization Commission. You can visit omcglobal.org and find out about our wonderful organization. Oh, I'm so excited about the organization and what we're trying to achieve. And again, you can go to Dr. Osimiri at, let's see, sometimes this platform just has a problem. But anyway, you can also go to drsimmery.com, and it's in my website, www.drsimmery.com. And also you can see Ndumodu Show on Facebook. Unfortunately, and I see that they still have not corrected it, but that's okay. That's okay. The show is almost done. And I want to thank you, Brooke, for joining me. I certainly enjoyed this conversation today. And we're going to continue it next week. And
attraction.
for those of you who joined us, please be sure to join us again. And if you didn't, well, at least you have the opportunity to watch it on our Facebook page once this sorts itself out. But I will also send. I think what's going to happen, though, even though it did not stream there, but since it was supposed to go there, it'll probably show up there anyway. But
It
just in case,
probably.
to go right now and go to YouTube and take the link and post it in OMC Facebook and Jumodu on Facebook and see what happens. Okay. Well, until we meet again, Brooke, you take care of yourself.
I will. I
Ha-
will. Yes.
Vibrate on the high. Nothing but goodness shall follow you if your vibration is high. All right.
Nothing but goodness.
Nothing but goodness. And so it is. I thank you and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good
I'll talk
day.
to you, girl.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.